if you're comfortable talking about it anyway. You know, body image issues, people have thoughts. I want to play with Gourmand Girls today. I have 2 of their palettes and I just really like their formula. Specifically, I'm going to play with the Spooked palette. This is the second one that I picked up and I'm excited to have this one because this is the first one that I wanted. I just was finally able to get it on Mercari for a really low price because this shade is broken. I don't care. There's still plenty of shadow in the pan. I do not care that it doesn't have its pretty little imprint or that it's not as high as the rest of the shades. I got it for like $15. Anyway, I've played with it once before. I have a Gourmand Girls playlist. I will link it up in the cards and also in the description box. Whenever I use a palette, if I have a playlist for that palette, I link it in the description box. And I have a lot of playlists, so check it out if you're curious. But today, I don't actually have a plan. I want to put a little bit of this on my lid. I don't tend to like really pink shimmers, but this one's calling to me today. I don't know why. And I thought initially I would pair it with something expected like these shades over here, but then I thought how interesting it might be if I played with these more murky or warm tones over here. Not sure, don't have a plan. I have no idea what I want to do, but I'm going to do something because this is my time to work and play with eyeshadow while my baby is napping. I also have a palette pull-in project. I'm working through the Pretty Chic palette from Colored Rain, and I just started this project, so this shade is done, and now I have to use this shade. That should be easy. Maybe I'll throw it on the lower lash line or something. I'm not sure, but let's go. My one qualm with this palette, I think, is that there are no light or pastel mattes, except for the white. I'm thinking using a lighter matte to blend out any of these mid-tone mattes. But the white's not going to do that. It's a very pigmented white, so it's not going to act quite the same way. I guess you could lighten by dipping into the white and the color. So like if I wanted to lighten this shade, I would take some of this shade, take some of the white together and use that as a softening point. Maybe I'll try that today. I think I'm going to start with Spellbook here. I have no plan. No plan. I am gonna just wing it and see how it goes. Spellbook with the Blend Body B1. I've primed my eyes already with the Glamlight Icing Primer. I want to talk today about a comment that I saw online. I was on Instagram and flipping through some reels and I saw a clip of a Miss Universe pageant. And I went into the comment section because, per usual, the caption on the reel had nothing to do with the pageant. It was like clickbait to try to elicit a reaction, and then it was just a regular clip of something that was happening. Anyway, I was reading the comments and most people were agreeing with me, but then there was one person who made an offhand remark about her gown. And this was a beautiful, beautiful woman. She's literally a contestant in Miss Universe. By all standards of beauty culturally across the universe, she's stunning. She was wearing this beautiful custom-made gown by a fancy schmancy designer, and it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. And somebody said that gown does not fit her very well. It was a poor choice. She should have gone with something else. And I'm reading this and I was just flabbergasted. I'm thinking, how could you look at this incredible dress on a beautiful woman? It fits her like a glove. She is rocking it. She looks fantastic. And you're sitting here as a little keyboard warrior saying, oh, it's just a poor choice. It was so unnecessary and so, I can't think of the word that I want. I can think of lots of words. But anyway, I read that comment and I thought, this person is just trying to find something to pick apart, and that's what they landed on. And of course they were wrong because it was gorgeous. But I think that particular comment really caught my attention because currently, at the time of filming, I am preparing to sing at a gala event, like a big fundraising event for the symphony. I recently won a vocal competition. I got to sing at the Christmas concert and they've asked me back to sing at this gala event. And I'm really excited because not only do I get a chance to sing, but I also get an evening out with my husband, and it's black tie, so I'm gonna get a gown. Now I'm gonna try this whole dipping into the white thing. So I'm gonna go into the white first and then go back into Spellbook. The reason I'm not going into Spellbook and then into the white is because I don't want to take the dark shadow and pollute the white pan. So this is those two shades together. Oh yeah, that works. Okay. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the event. It's going to be fun, and I get to sing, and I get to have like a cocktail hour and catered dinner, and it's just as fancy do. Most people have to pay for their ticket to go, and they're going to let me have some comp seats because I'm part of the entertainment. But what I'm getting at here is that I have on my mind that I need to get a gown for this event. And I was looking at this Miss America thinking, I am never, ever, ever, ever going to look like that. I need to grow at least 2 feet to get to her height and probably lose 60 pounds and also tone every muscle in my body and also elongate my waist by about 5 inches. And it's just never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Even at my fittest, that is not my body type. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But it would be absolutely dreamy if I could pull off that gown in an event and just rock it like nobody's business. And here I am searching Facebook Marketplace and literally the thrift stores to try to find a gown that's going to work for this evening. And it's going to be lovely and it's going to be fun and I'm going to feel pretty and I'm going to have a nice date with my husband. And still, somewhere, there is a keyboard warrior criticizing Miss Universe for not measuring up to whatever their impossible standard of perfection is. It irked me a bit. It did. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. She and I went for a walk with the kids because everybody needed some fresh air. So we're walking along and talking about fitness and wellness, and she had been sick and that really damaged her lungs. So now it's been a struggle for her to get back into the physical lifestyle that she usually has, lots of running and things like that. Whereas I am coming out of a more sedentary lifestyle and starting to incorporate more movement into my life. And it was so interesting because we were talking about body types and comparison, and I, chatted a bit about my own insecurities and comparing myself and my body to some other women I know and people who maybe have my goal body, my perception of what my goal body would be, and are still complaining about flaws they see in themselves. And she was coming from the other side of it, where she's actually considered underweight. She's a very slight woman. And we were joking about things that you wouldn't think, like she's not heavy enough to activate the seat on her riding lawnmower. And so she literally has to weigh herself down to get it to go forward. And that's just something I've never experienced. So it was very interesting chatting about the two sides of things, or people coming from different directions. I'm trying to lose weight to get to a healthier body composition, and she needs to gain a little bit of weight to get to a healthier body composition. She was saying that when she lifts weights, she gets bruising because she has there's nothing to protect her bones from. If a weight settles on her clavicle, she gets a bruise there. There's no additional padding, Oh, well, I have some padding. I'm like, well, here, you can take some of mine and then we'll just even things out a little bit. Oh man, it was such an interesting conversation. She's a great lady, and it was really nice to talk to another woman about these issues that sometimes we kind of keep to ourselves, or we just see other people talking about them, but we don't personally expose our own insecurities or struggles. I was grateful that I could talk to her about that and get her perspective. Somebody who is working from the other end towards health. It helped round out my perspective a bit more, helped me not be so focused on my own issues, but be more receptive and compassionate towards a different person's issues. Well, I might have a little bit of a harsh line here. I can't quite tell. I need to fill that space in a bit more because of my hood, and then maybe blend from there. Anyway, that's a reality for some people. Not all of us are trying to lose weight. Some of us are having trouble keeping healthy weight on our bodies. And maybe it has to do with your lifestyle, but maybe it has to do with hormones or chemical imbalances or medications or sickness. And I just found it to be a very valuable conversation with my friend. Let's not have it be about a number or a size. It's just about wellness and taking care of your body and appreciating your body and your body type for what it is and what it can do. Yes, that's going to be different from the person next to you. I do not have a ballerina physique, and I never have, and I never will. But I have more of a muscular build. So when I'm fit and healthy, think more gymnast. I'm more like a Simone Biles kind of build instead of a famous ballerina, none of whose names I can think of in the moment. But that's okay. There are different strengths and each body type is good at doing different things. And when I look at my own life, I think I'm going to deepen this a bit with fright. Fright? No, let's go with spooky. When I look at my own life and the journey that the Lord has taken me on, I think, okay, well, if I were really slight, I might not have been able to help my husband in our machine shop the way that I have, because I might not have been strong enough to haul around these huge chunks of metal and run the machines and just all the things that I did when I was running a machine shop full time. That would have been much more of a struggle if I didn't have the physical muscle to do it. That is a very pigmented black. I just smoked out the whole thing now, didn't I? Wasn't quite the plan, but it's nice. It's blending really lovely. Okay, let me dip into this pink shimmer and go from there, because that's the only one that I really specifically wanted to play with. I'm just curious to see how it will perform with a flat brush. I don't mind applying with my finger. It's just, if it's going to damage the shadows by creating a barrier from the oils on my finger, I would prefer to avoid that. So this is the shade Bloody. Anyway, I think it's important that we recognize that people do have different body types and different builds, and I have really struggled with that for a lot of my life because maybe I wasn't content with my body type and I wanted it to be something else. Especially as I've gotten older and it's been easier for me to pack on extra weight, I find myself thinking unkind things about myself or saying things that aren't constructive or helpful. But really, my body has served me well, and it's strong and it's healthy, and I am capable and I am able to do lots of things. And at this point, I'm happy with the body type that I have. Like, I figured out myself. I figured out what I'm good at, what I'm not so good at, and I'm comfortable with my body type. Now I just want to focus on it being as healthy as it can, like taking good care of my body, aging well, embracing the things that I am good at, and being grateful for them. Into the Colored Rain palette. My palette pull-in is called Crush on You. I'm gonna spray this as well. I don't know if I told you, I sprayed the Spooked shimmer because I picked it up with a brush, so it created a little bit of fallout. So here's Crush on You. Sort of a soft silvery version of a pink shimmer. All right, now I need to do something on the lower lash line. I think it's obvious, but with a Singe EO1, I'm taking the shade Ghoul, which is the white matte in the palette. And I'm just sort of lightening this whole area, filling it in nicely, blending out any shadow that pulled over too far. See, it's a nice white. It's good. Now I want to take this Crush on You shade from my palette pull-in. I'm loading it on a really small blending brush, and I'm going to spray it again. I think I want to just line the lower lash line with this shade and kind of fade into the black, I think, at the outer corner. Yeah, that's a nice soft metallic. Back into Spooky with a smudger brush. I think I'll probably put black in the waterline. Well, I don't know. White would be cool. White would be really contrasty here, but also match over here. Pink would be obvious. Maybe I'll do a two-tone waterline. I did end up putting white in my waterline. This is the NYX Epic Wear eyeliner stick. So everything I'm using is linked in the description box. I have mascara on, and then on my face I just have the Star Surfer Space Age highlighter from Kaleidos. A little bit of that, and a little bit of the NYX Butter Gloss in this shade Peaches and Cream on my lips. I first put a full application, and then I went, no. So then I dabbed off most of it, and this is what's left. I can live with this. I'm trying to use up all these random lip products I have. I don't know if this one's gonna get used up. Some of my really, much more intense colors, this one, I also pulled this one out as a maybe. This is Summer Fruit. They might not. I might give them to my daughters if they're interested. They're just a lot more intense than I care for anymore. But anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Tell me about, if you're comfortable talking about it anyway, you know, body image issues, people have thoughts, but I think it's valuable to appreciate the type of body that we each have, because everybody's different, and I know that we all have our own insecurities, and for me especially, points of comparison. it can be a struggle, and if our bodies are not in optimal health or shape, then I think we're even harder on ourselves if we've added on extra weight because of, again, like I said, hormones or pregnancy or medication or sickness or injury or anything else. Then we tend to be more harsh upon ourselves, and the comparison game and everything else just seems to intensify. But if we can accept what we have and try to just get the most out of that and be grateful for the different things that we are able to do, the different abilities that we have, and one body type is better at one thing and another body type is better at other things, and it's just like preferences and hobbies and gifts and abilities. Everything together makes a beautiful picture and makes the world go round in a much more interesting way than if everybody were exactly the same. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this subject, of course. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Let me know what you think about today's eyeshadow look, and consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more. And I look forward to chatting with you in my next upload. Bye.